Everyone, we are the ECB team, and today we're going to react on Eurovision 2026 entries. Let's get started. So, this time we're going to focus on Montenegro. The country was the first one to choose its song for Eurovision 2026. They have selected the songs via the national selection Monte Song 2025. 15 acts competed in the selection, and the winner is Tamara Živković with the song Nova Zora. Okay, so let's see what do we think about Montenegro choice this year. Starting with you, Naomi, please.
It's good to see Montenegro back again. Sort of a recent returnee. So Montenegro, it's really good to have you back. I really like the song. I actually kind of am really happy with Montenegro's selection. I think a lot of people were when it was chosen in terms of Montenegro really trying to go for something quite different. So I really like that kind of the kind of almost like homage to kind of Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. So a lot of people thought it was quite similar to that in terms of the kind of tune and melody of the song. Not saying it's plagiarism. I'm just saying that it reminded people of that. So slightly different. But yeah, I felt the song was really catchy. I love the darkness vibe of it. I really liked that. I like the choreography, the staging. I don't know how Montenegro is going to replicate that because a lot of times, and we've seen this time and time again, in a national final, a country does really well and has amazing staging, and then we kind of go, oh, but how can you do that on the main stage? The classic example being obviously Loreen with Tattoo. There was big love for her big sort of box staging in Melfest, and then people kind of disappointing with how big the block was, and it's kind of a bit so it can worry people. Obviously, the results on the night did well for her, but it kind of puts a worry in people's mind about how the staging might be from when you go from national final to obviously the Eurovision stage. So while I'm very happy with the song, I personally quite like it. I wouldn't say it's personally one of my top favourites. I have others that we'll find out later on what those are. I do feel it's a good song for Montenegro in terms of Montenegro standards. But I am curious to see how that will be replicated on the stage. How will the choreography look? How will they continue that very darkness theme? Even though the song in Montenegro means New Dawn, how they're going to match that. So yeah, I'm kind of curious, but overall, really happy with the song.
All right, good to hear. So yeah, actually I like it as well. She was my winner in the national selection, so it was really positive to start the season with the first national final and your winner actually winning the whole selection. I think the song is very modern, and I was quietly surprised on that because we are not always getting the same modern vibe from Montenegro. Sometimes they go into the Balkan ballads field, sometimes they go into something more local. So yeah, this one, of course, it's in the local language, but I feel it's very international in a good way. I'm saying that. So basically, I really like the techno trap pop flavor it brings to the competition. Tamara has a quite unique voice, which I really appreciate. I like that the beat is growing like gradually, but all along the way you feel like the electronic keyboards just accompany the melody and the production itself. I found the production of that really delicate. I think it's like cut out in the really right places, and the arrangement kind of contributed all thing. It's very powerful when it comes to electronic vibe, but still it's like you can say that it defeat her voice somehow. So they get along good together, and it's not that easy task when you have to do it with that kind of song. I was also really not surprised because I expected that, but I was really happy to see her like performing that well live. We also know her from last year. Last year she also competed in the national final, but sadly didn't win. Now she's the winner of that. Um, Also to add that I really like the dramatic signature it brings. I think that the design of the staging with the scenes, we have the screens like part number one, part number two, part number three, and each part has its own color. One of them was more reddish, another one more blue. So I think, yeah, they have the potential to somehow replicate it, as you told, on the big stage, but definitely they have to see how they have like to utilize the beautiful stage size and to see how they smartly use the lights because I don't know, for me, I feel that the lighting in that act are really dramatic because it creates the drama and also help to convey the story. Um, I'm gonna say something really weird, but something about its iconicness of that really reminds me of Constructa. Even though they have nothing to do, they're totally different, but the way she interacts with with the backing dancer singer so called, and there is also like one scene they standing in two lines one each other. So that one really reminded me of that, and I believe it's a good sign. So yeah, overall, I think it's one of the strongest efforts we have received from Montenegro, at least in the last few years, sorry. To compare it with last year, so last year I really liked the song, but having said that, I really thought, unfortunately, it doesn't have like the potential to succeed because usually that kind of ballads and also being allocated in spot number two, all of those things together, yeah, weren't a really key factor to succeed. This time I'm more positive about their chances. But yeah, overall enjoyed that act. All right, so just to remind all of us that Montenegro are going to compete in semifinal number one in the second half of the show. As of the moment of recording that video, we still don't have the exact running order, so it's still early to know like when we'll get it and what's the position Montenegro gonna perform in. Now it's time for the very early prediction. So usually it's something ambitious to do at that point. But Naomi, how do you estimate the chances of Montenegro qualify to the final this year?
Yeah, I just want to say at the time of filming, we're typically quite early in the season. So Duran and I would usually film around sort of April when we start doing rehearsals. So actually filming kind of in February is actually pretty early. But because we had a number of releases, we just felt it was really good to kind of start giving our opinions and kind of add to the discussions that are really nicely being formed around the Eurovision season. It kind of makes the Eurovision season last a bit longer, I think. So it's actually really nice. But we have to kind of denote that with the fact that it is quite early. So just want that to be taken into consideration when we make our predictions. We're literally filming this at the time of filming the day after Austria, the host country, has actually chosen their act and song, which will be performed at the Wiener Stadthalle kind of in May. Well, that week of May. So yeah, so just want to add those caveats that it is still quite early, but obviously because we've had a lot of reveals about the song and the artist, it's good to kind of be part of those discussions. But yeah, so yeah, it is quite early to say, but I do actually have an opinion on this already. So I feel that Montenegro might actually just make it. I feel the fact that they're kind of in the second half, they've got a better position than what they did last year. So, to on your point about positioning, in a way, if positioning does kind of matter, you can beat the odds. The grand final, Ukraine in 2024 got what was known as the death spot. They beat that, the odds.
That's true.
Justina Szaszkowska got that for Poland last year as well. So you can beat the odds. But I do just feel they do play a little bit of a part. So the fact that Montenegro have the second half of that semi-final, I think might actually help them. So yeah, my prediction is they will qualify. I don't think it will be a large qualification, I'm going to be honest, but I do think because people were quite happy with the selection and the positioning. Obviously, we don't really know in terms of staging, running order, so there's still a lot we don't know. But just on what we do know, I think it has a good chance of at least qualifying.
Mhm. I tend to agree. I think I'll put it, and it's really early now because some countries competing in that semi, we even have no clue who's gonna represent them, like whether the national selection are still in progress or like any case of internal selection without a song or artists without a song, like Georgia, for example. So yeah, really and super early and ambitious, as I told before, to make a prediction as for now. But I feel they have better chances than the few last years, including 2022, by the way. Also, just to mention, they have Croatia and Serbia together in that semi. So I guess that some, friendly country voting can actually appear here. We also have some Balkan here, let's say, for example, Moldova or even Greece. So maybe they might contribute some points as well. Uh, yeah, but having said that, I still think like whether they qualify, and I wish they will, it won't be an easy one. So as for the moment, I see it something like between the 8 to the 12th position in the semi. Really depends on the dynamic between all the other countries. But yeah, short line, they have chances, but it won't be an easy one to make. All right, it's time to give our scores between 1 and 10 with a justification. Naomi, please.
Yeah, I think it's a great song, as I said. With like 0, 1 being hate the song, 9, 10 being love the song, I would probably place it because it is something a song that I like, but it's just not one of my personal favorites. So there is a personal element going into this scoring. So I would give it a really nice because it is a great song. I would give it a 6.5.
Awesome. Yeah, actually, that one I really like. I can't say like it's one of my winners, although it's not that far from there. But yeah, I will give it 8.5 at the moment. Really depends on how the staging will be replicated and whether also there is a rumor, not official one, that they're gonna revamp the song. So I have no clue about that. Not official news about it still. But yeah, let's see about that as well. All right, so this is what we have thought on Montenegro entry for Eurovision 2026. Nova Zora New Dawn in English. Tamara will perform in semifinal number 1 in the second half of the show. If you like our videos, please don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to our channel right here below. Tell us in the comments below what do you think about Montenegro's contribution to that year. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and basically everywhere. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.